Yo, welcome back everybody. So in today's video, I'm gonna be going over the season 1 Vanguard Warzone settings. So to get started, first thing real quick that I want to get out the way, I thought that they had deleted the brightness option, but if you go into like the little menu here where you could pick Vanguard, Pacific, Cold War, and Modern Warfare, you'll see in the bottom it says right there accessibility. Now when you press square on PlayStation or X on Xbox, or I don't know what it might be on keyboard and mouse, but you'll see it on the bottom. You actually have the brightness setting here. It's back. So just in case you had your brightness all the way up, or you're wondering why your game looks so bright or so dark, make sure you keep it at 50. Keep it at 50 or 49 because the map is pretty bright. Caldera is pretty bright. So 50 or 49 is pretty good. And I think that's the only one that they sort of hit. I don't know why. It's really weird. So like if we try to go here, there is no brightness setting here. You know, there is no brightness setting here. So it's kind of weird. So the only way to adjust your brightness is to go here and then here. I don't know why they did that. It's pretty weird. But to get started, we're gonna get started here with the controller settings. Now I like to play tactical flipped. This is the way I've been playing for man, the last few years of Call of Duty. I think it's just the best. I'm a claw player. I do play claw. That means when I play my index finger like this, so I use my index finger for X, circle, triangle, and square. That's how I play. Some of y'all may not like that, but me, that's the way I play. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all might play regular flipped, but I suggest playing flipped overall. And if you don't know how to put flip, just press square on PlayStation or X on Xbox, and it should just flip it. What this does is this switches your L1 R1 to basically fire. Instead of the bottom ones, you'll be firing with the top one. So L1 you aim down, one R1 you shoot, and then your tactical and lethal switches down to the bottom one. I think that is just the best, just because you get that little bit of small milliseconds of faster when you're going up against somebody that's shooting with the bottom. This is starting to become very more popular, especially with the last few seasons of Warzone. A lot of people have switched to flip, and I'm not surprised. You know, it is a bigger advantage. So I suggest everybody to do flipped, or else you're gonna be at a disadvantage. Stick button layout, I have this to default. I don't touch that. I don't, you know, it's kind of like one of these inverted weird settings. Some of y'all may like it, some of y'all may like it. I don't. Keep it default. Invert vertical look, keep that disabled. I don't want my thing inverted. Now we have a little bit different of dead zone. We have a few different dead zone settings, which I'm gonna go over. So left stick and right stick min dead zone is basically the same thing as old dead zone. It's just you get to pick the dead zone for each side. So let's say you have only dead zone in your right stick, then you could put it up a little bit more, so that dead zone so that controller drift, so that controller drift could go down a little bit on the right stick, because that's like the one that they remove the camera with and all that, which I kind of like this setting. But for me, I don't really have that much controller drift. For y'all that do, y'all might want to go more up for dead zone. If you don't know what dead zone is, it basically is the amount of input that you put when you physically move the stick. So let's say I have this to all the way up. Let's say if I even move my stick a little bit, it won't move on the screen, right? But if I have my dead zone all the way down to 0.03 or 0, even if I've moved my stick the slightest bit, it will move on the screen. So you get what I'm saying? That's how the simplest way to describe dead zone. So I do like this, that they added two like things for dead zone for each stick. That is pretty nice. But my sweet spot 0.03 is right there, perfect. For 0.03 is really nice. Left stick max dead zone and right stick max dead zone. Now this was the minimum dead zone, and this is the max dead zone. You want to put this to 1.0. It was stuck on 0.99, but we'll put it to 1. Now I try to put it on like I tested it out, because I was like, what does this do? Like, would it change anything? I tested out on like 30, 50, 70. Yeah, you don't want to do that. You want to keep it at 1. It's really weird. I started to get controller drift when I went below, I think it was below 60 I started to get this weird controller buffering. So I don't even know why they added this, to be honest. I think this is a Vanguard setting that they did and transfer it to Warzone. So make sure you keep that at 1. It's a little weird. Just keep it at 1. Trust me, it's keep it at 1. Horizontal stick sensitivity and vertical sense. I have this to 7 for my controller players. This is the spot that I recommend. I've been testing 4, 5, 6, 7 for almost every season. I switched to a new sensitivity, but for the past 2 seasons I've stuck in with 7. I know for the whole last season I stuck with 7. 6 or 7 around there, that's the sweet spot. Sometimes I might go 8 when I'm sniping, maybe, but I think that's the sweet spot. I know many of y'all are like, how are you playing on 7? Y'all like to play on like 20 or 16. Hey, if you a freak like that, hey, you got it, you know what I'm saying? But I like to play on 7. I think 7 is really, really good. ADS sense multiplier, I keep this on 1. I'm gonna be honest, setting this value 1 will keep the default ADS sensitivity. This is just regular sense when you're like aiming down sight. So when you aim down sight and you move, that's the sensitivity. I used to put this down to 0.8, 0.70, but I'll be honest, in a lot of situations, just normal 1 is good. But if you do want more customization, they did add a specific ADS sensitivity for each zoom. So if you like to have a slower sensitivity when you're on like iron sights, you may want to change this up on low zoom, right? You want to might make it slower so you have better accuracy. But let's say you want to have you're sniping with a 3x scope, or you're sniping with a 5x scope or 6x scope, whatever, right? Or really high zoom, and you want to be flicking on people while you're sniping, then you can put this more up. So I kind of like that they did that. They gave us a little bit room of customization here, which is really, really cool. But me, I'm gonna just keep one at everything. It's gonna feel weird if I pick up a sniper and it's different sensitivity than I'm normally used to. So I'll keep that on 1. Aim response curve type, I've talked about this before. Basically, dynamic is for my rushers, aggressive people. Linear is for my snipers that want to snipe far away, lay back. And standard is kind of you do both. You're not too much of a rusher, you're not too much of a camper. You're kind of in the middle, you wait them out. That's the way that I recommend it. Standard is always good if you don't know which one to pick. Dynamic is only for my people that rush, like I'm saying, like people like me like to rush everything. Controller vibration disabled. Aim assist, I have this to standard. I've tried precision focusing. Focusing was kind of OP, but I'm pretty sure this got nerfed already. Precision, you don't get any aim assist while you're hip firing, and standard you do. So standard is the overall best one. These, just keep these normal. I always keep these normal. Hold. Contextual tap, so you pick things up faster in Warzone, loot up faster and stuff like that. It's just a tap. Delete ammo weapon switch, have that's enabled. I think that's standard for enabled. I'm not sure. Armor apply behavior, apply all. I've been talking about this for a while. You just hold triangle once, and then it applies all of the shield. If you want to cancel, you just press triangle and it cancels. It's better than holding it there, with apply 1 each play by one. So it's better to just apply them all. Slide behavior, tap, better than hold. Way better for slide canceling, stuff like that. Most of these y'all should probably know by now, but if you're new to Warzone, y'all fully understand. Tactical sprint, single tap from run. Now this is only for people that are not running an automatic tactical sprint. This will make it a little bit easier for you. There's 2 options: single tap from sprint or single tap from run, which is better with single tap from run, I think, because it's just a single tap from while you're running. And automatic tactical sprint, if you have this on, this setting doesn't even matter, to be honest. Vehicle camera recentering. I like to recenter my vehicle camera whenever I'm like driving. I don't like when it recenters by itself, so I have that to disabled. And then parachute auto deploy, want to keep that to disabled, just so you can land the lowest to the ground. Just make sure to pull your chute though, cause else you're gonna die. Safe area, have this to the smallest. Things are closer to your middle of the screen, which is good. Stuff like that. Camera movement, now this is one of the new settings that was added. Default is at 100. You want to put this down to 50, the lowest, least 50%. Now what this does is basically it's kind of like a shake while you're moving. So when you move with your right stick, you're moving around, looking around, it's kind of like a shaky effect. more of like a blurry effect. This kind of reduces that motion, and also could alleviate, it says right there, alleviate sickness for some players that are having that. You know, if you get motion sickness or anything like that, you want to, of course, put this down to 50%. But it also just helps you see less shake, and it's better for visibility whenever you're moving around quick, especially if you have a higher sensitivity. This will help you out. So want to keep this to 50. That's a big one. World motion blur, never enable that. But weapon motion blur, if you're having a lot of FPS dips, if you want to get a little bit better FPS, if you want to have a smoother gameplay, put on enable weapon motion blur. Weapon motion blur, my bad. Now, weapon motion blur, I've talked about it before. It kind of just deletes the animation of where it just blurs the animation of where when you're switching your gun, any sort of hand gesture movements, it kind of just blurs them out. And it's pretty good. It makes your gameplay look smoother, especially if you're on console. I recommend this mainly for my console people. If you want to make like gameplay videos, it will make your game look way more smoother in the gameplay. And it's just it looks like you're playing a smoother game. You know, it looks like you're getting a few more FPS, and I suppose you actually do get more FPS with this. Film grain, have this to 0. You don't want any film grain on your screen. The Saberman and gore effects, I have that to enabled. On-demand texture streaming, disable this. It will make you lag out and just have packet loss, have a higher ping, so disable this. Before it used to be an alright setting that sometimes you might want to enable to get better quality. But I'm gonna be honest, I've tested this out and it makes no damn difference, bro. So make sure just have that disabled. Just keep it disabled. Interface, subtitles disabled, language selection, English, color type, Deuteranopia. But I am gonna say on this new Caldera map, it doesn't really matter if you go with whatever color blind. You will see more of the colors a little bit juicier, like I said, with Deuteranopia, just because it's almost the same thing as disabled, but you get a little bit more color, more vibration, more saturation in those colors. You get more greens, you get more reds, more pink, you know, they pop out a little bit more. But on disabled, on regular, it's still totally fine. And you know, if you want to go whatever one, you know, whatever floats your boat, the game is still gonna look pretty decent, because Caldera does have way better lighting than Warzone Verdansk ever had. Colorblind target, put this to both. So some people might put interface and they're like, oh, I don't see the difference in my games. Make sure you have it to both, so it actually puts on puts on the filter in your game. Mini map shape, have this to square. You know, you see more on your map, enable rotation, yada yada yada. And that's basically it for this interface setting. Now into the audio settings. Now audio has been a huge debate this new season. There's been a bunch of audio issues, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't think any of these are gonna help you out with hearing footsteps. I mean, the best one up to date was always boost low, boost high, or boost. And that would be with a master volume, and they were anywhere from 50 to 100, you know, whatever. How your headphones treat that audio, how loud your headphones get. Mine, I have the Cloud 2s and I have OBS. So I'm not going to put it all the way to 100 because it's going to blow my eardrums out. You know, I have more audio settings here that I can control from my computer with OBS, and then, you know, the headset and stuff like that. But if you just have like a plug and play in your controller, you probably want to put this to the max. With boost low on, it is the best with hearing footsteps. But just footsteps and just audio has been really bad this season. It's kind of more of a Raven fault that is like this, or the new map fault, or just the background noises. I don't know, bro. If you hear, like, I sometimes hear footsteps when it's really explosions in the background. It's really weird. Audio it's just been a slight L this season. But you want to go with either boost low, boost high, or boost. If you want to eliminate more of that background noise, try out midnight mode. I know it's a little weird. It does kind of lower those vibrations there, but you will get less of that background noise, explosion noise, a little bit in the background. Boost, it's kind of almost the same thing as midnight mode, but it's just a little bit more boosty. Boost high is the best sound quality, but things are just extremely loud, especially in Caldera. I don't recommend it in Caldera with all those planes and loud noises now that they added. And boost low is great for footsteps, but like I said, man, it's just that the audio has been so weird this season that it doesn't. I barely heard any audio footstep audio this season, if I'm be honest with y'all. So I might even try to boost midnight mode, to be honest, or one of these other ones. I don't know, but that's what y'all want to go with. Music volume, turn this down all the way to 0. Dialogue, I put it anywhere from 40 to 80 or 70, you know, around there. Effects, you want to keep this to 100 or 95. I just put it to 95 because things do get really loud, those effects. Cinematic volume, keep that at 0. Juggernaut music, keep this at disabled. Hint marker sound, I like mine's like classic. I just like that old school hint marker effect. Mono audio, you want to disable this. Now for me, for some reason, it was enabled. So if you're having weird audio issues, you want to check that mono audio is disabled. Yeah, I want to check that. Make sure it's disabled. It's basically like you won't hear directional sound audio. So let's say a guy's coming from your right, you're gonna hear him on both ear cups if you have this disabled. So it's only for people that only have that one ear cup type of headset going on. So yeah, if you have that, of course you want to enable this, but if you don't, if you just have two headsets, both your cups work, you want to have this to disabled. And that's basically it. Here's just voice chat volume 120, microphone volume 120. And that's basically it. Word tracks, you want to disable that. You don't want to be hearing word tracks while you're trying to hear enemies. And that's basically it, y'all. I don't really have anything else to say. That's pretty much is all the settings for the new Warzone Vanguard joint. Now this is for my console people. You know, the one setting that we all been wanting is FOV, but it looks like we're not gonna get it, y'all. It's kind of sad. So either way, y'all, let me know what y'all think about my settings video. I know it's a little wrong one. I was just trying my best to explain these sort of new settings here, a little bit tweaked and stuff like that. So let me know what y'all boys think for my console people about my settings. Would you do anything different, or some of your setting suggestions that you think I should change? Let me know, and I'm out of here, bro. Peace.